And I'll start with the corporate side of OnPassive. Yeah, we know that Mr. Mufara has been through the ringer over the last year. When I think about what Mr. Mufara has been through over the last year, what OnPassive has been through, I'm really amazed that we never knew anything about it. We really didn't. He kept it very, very close to the vest until he was ready to come out and start sharing with us. And that's only been, what, 2, 3, 4 weeks? It hasn't been that long a period. And I love this about Mr. Mufara. He always, if there's a problem, if there's something out there that needs to be dealt with, and this was pretty bad, it was really bad. He has the mindset, okay, here's the problem. What's the solution? And once he finds the solution, he rolls it out. And he's in the process of rolling that out right now. What he did with OnPassive, and really, I think Ash is probably one of the only individuals in the world that could do this. I just don't think there are that many people that could do what Mr. Mufara has done. As he saw what was happening within OnPassive, the evil within, and I don't know exactly when he started to see it, but when he started to see it, he understood that he had to change course, and he had to do some other things. And again, this is going back to the basics of OnPassive. What do we do to right the ship and move forward? And it really is amazing what he's done over the last year to be able to do that and to put in place those things that are going to get us into scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. Okay. And I can tell you flat out, that's done because of what he's done, because of the people he's dealing with, because of the restructuring of the corporate side of OnPassive. This thing's a done deal. We don't have to worry about it. And as Jeffrey said, he came out with the 3 scenarios, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, however you want to do it. And the reason he came out with 3 different scenarios is because maybe 1 and 2 don't work. Maybe they're not ready to do 1 or 2. And then that takes us to the 3rd scenario. The 3rd scenario is the mother load. You guys need to get that. The 3rd scenario, regardless of what happens next week or what happens in September, and I believe some good things are going to be happening in the next week, but regardless to what happens in the next week or so, the 3rd scenario, that C, that number 3, it is the mother load. And it is just going to blow you away. You can't understand. You think OnPassive was good 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, and it was really, really good. And it was the concept. It was the concept of Mr. Mufara. It was he's the brain trust. He put it all together. It was really, really good. When we get to scenario C or 3, it is so much better than anything we envisioned a year or 5 years ago or 4 or 3 or 2 years ago. It's really, really good. And Mr. Mufara told us that. I'm not speculating. This is stuff Mr. Mufara told us if you were listening. It's better than you can imagine. So when we start to think about the going back to the basics on the corporate side, Mr. Mufara has done that, and he's done it on steroids. The really cool thing about what Mr. Mufara has right now, and he said this on the live, is how quickly the people he's working with right now work through the issues and the problems of OnPassive. There's a problem, they find a solution, boom, it's done. And they don't take a year or 2 or 3. This happens very, very quickly. So the corporate side, getting back to basics, it's there. It's already done. You don't even have to think about it. Now, here's what's really, really cool. If we look at scenario 1A of Ash, we got a week. I don't have to speculate about anything, nothing. And believe me, I speculate all the time. I know I'm not supposed to do that right now, but I speculate all the time. And I've got things rolling around in my mind. I think I know what's going to happen. But I don't need to do that. We've got a week, and it could be 2 or 3 days. And Mr. Mufara is going to come out and he's going to explain everything we need to do. He's going to tell us all exactly what we need to do. Back to basics. Corporate side, now it's our side, the affiliate side. When I talk about going back to the basics on the affiliate side, I'm talking about marketing. And I know that's a dirty word. Nobody likes to use that word. You know, nobody can market. It's a dirty word. And what we've changed it with is share. Well, I love marketing, period. I absolutely love it. And with OnPassive, it's very, very simple. This is why I love OnPassive, guys. It hasn't changed. See, that's the thing about OnPassive. It hasn't changed. It's gotten better. Okay? Hasn't changed. It's gotten better. OnPassive is still here to change your life, to get you to the place where you can find that financial independence that we're all looking for. Okay? That's what OnPassive is here for. And in a week, we're going to know one way or another if it's going to go in a week or maybe it goes into September. And by the way, it might not be the end of September. It might be the second day of September. So we're not talking about a lot of time here. And let me hit one more thing before I go on to the marketing side of it. Ash Mufara said that the ugliest scenario is 3 months, right? And he said, you know, and he did this in Ash's way. He kind of stumbled through it. But bottom line, he said, we're about two-thirds the way through that. What's that mean? So is it 3 months or is it 1 month? Again, I'm not going to say anything, but I think it's a lot quicker than 2025. That's not going to happen. I can almost guarantee it. That's not going to happen. And Mr. Mufara, he put it out there in his crazy way, in his wonderful Ash way. He put it out there if you listen. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But let's get back to the basics for the affiliates. If next week Ash comes out and the OES platform comes back up, Ash is going to give us things to do. Back to the basics. Okay. OnPassive is all about marketing. This is about marketing. He's going to tell us what to do to have an advantageous effect on our business, not just OnPassive, but your business. And as he comes out and does that, everybody here, just listen to the man, do what he tells you to do, because he has your self-interest at heart. He really does. He wants you to succeed. OnPassive was built for you to succeed, and he will continue down that road. So that's the first thing. Now, whether it goes to September or if it goes to October, maybe, I don't know. Ash Mufara is going to come out and he's going to guide us this whole way. And when we think about OnPassive, remember what OnPassive is going to do for each and every one of us. To start with, it's a complete digital system for all of us. Completely digital. All the tools, all the products are going to be there for your business. Okay? It's also 100% automated. Okay? Not only that, but when we start to talk about the markets, when we talk about the global markets, when we talk about there's no cap on the amount of money you can make, when we start talking about all the things that Ash has put in front of us, everything's there for you to be successful. Now, when he comes out either next week or September or the following month, whatever it is, and he starts telling us what's happening, what OnPassive is going through, and what you need to do, I'm not quite sure how all of that is going to be structured, because Ash talked about the structure of OnPassive has changed a little bit. Again, I'm not supposed to speculate, so I won't talk about what's going on in my mind. I have 2 or 3 different scenarios that could happen as we get into that scenario C or 3. It's all good. Everything that I think about, listening to Ash, what could happen, how the company could change, how the structure could change, it all benefits each and every one of us. And it allows each and every one of us over time to get to that place where you're financially independent. That's what we're all here for initially. That's what we're here for. You got to bring in the money. And in OnPassive, no one gets paid unless there's a sale. And that's where the structure that Mr. Mufareh shares with us is going to be really, really interesting to hear. And again, I won't go into what I think it might be. Mr. Mufareh wants to tell us that when he's ready to tell us. So when you start to talk about back to the basics, and this is a subject that you could talk about for literally hours and hours and hours, Ron. There's so many things, and I'll give you a couple of different levels, just very quickly, and then I'll turn it back over. But there are things, when I heard what the topic was, it just things started going through my mind. Even with the affiliates, there are a couple of levels of back to the basics. There's the affiliate that's coming in, that's understanding the philosophy and the vision of OnPassive, and they fall in love with it, and they start to engage with OnPassive. That's one level, and they learn to be competent about talking about OnPassive, and that's really, really important. If you can get back to the basics, if you can become competent with the basics, you can develop wealth. It really is that simple, guys, and take that to heart. But there's another level, and I'll use Marty DeGarmo as an example, and we have a few like Marty here. You know, anytime you start to master the basics and you become competent in the basics, there's always another level you can go to, and there are more basics there. Okay? I hope that makes sense. And that really never ends. And that's why OnPassive is so exciting. It never ends. There's always other places you can go. But when you think about Marty DeGarmo, and I've known Marty for 10, 12 years, I've worked with Marty that long, and you won't hear this from Marty, but I'll say it for him. He is one of the top marketers in the world. That's a big statement, guys. Marty will never tell you that. I will. And it's because he got the back to the basics. He went from one level to another level to another level to another level. He never stopped learning what he needed to do to become a successful marketer. This is a really, really hard thing to do, but nothing in life worthwhile is easy, even OnPassive, as we all know. So the different levels you can go to as you start to master the basics of one level and then the next level, you can be a Marty DeGarmo. But when you think about that, it wasn't 2 or 3 months, it wasn't 6 months, it wasn't a year, it was 10 years, guys. That's what it takes to be competent and to be called one of the best in the world. And Marty is that. And again, Marty will never tell you that. He's just never going to say that about himself. But I can do that because I've been with him for a very, very long time. So when you start to think about marketing, when you start to think about what we do, when you start to think about digital transformation, which we're all going through, there are a lot of different levels that we can get to. Whatever level you stop at, and I don't think you'll ever stop once you get into OnPassive, because Mr. Mufareh, he will motivate in ways you never thought possible, and you're always wanting to go further and further and further. But wherever you get, whatever your talents and your skills, wherever they take you within OnPassive, because of what Mr. Mufareh has done, because of the structure of OnPassive, because of the structure not only on the business side but on the affiliate side, you have the opportunity over time to get to that place where you will take care of those financial woes, whatever they are, and then go beyond that. And the beyond that, and I can guarantee everybody here will go beyond that. You will, just because of what Mr. Mufareh has done. We're in a really, really good place. As you can tell, I'm excited about where we are. I'm excited about what Mr. Mufareh went through in the last year. I'm glad he went through it because he learned so much. And OnPassive today is so much better than it was 2.5 years ago. You know, Jeffrey talks about we're going to go back 2.5 years. That's where we should be today. Well, we are going to be there very, very quickly, but it's not where we would have been 2.5 years ago. It is so far above that because of what Mr. Mufareh has done, because of what he's put together. It is just a cool place to be, and we get to be in front row seats. We get to watch all of it, and Mr. Mufareh is going to walk us through step by step, step by step. and you're going to love every step he walks you through. But be ready. OnPassive is not passive. You have to come in and you have to be ready to do what you need to do, not only for the company, but for your business. And everything that Mr. Mufareh gives you to do will benefit your business. This isn't something that is altruistic. It will benefit your business, period. So I'll leave it there, Ron. There's so many different ways we can go here, but I'll leave it there.